It's 8 p.m. Big stories, big questions, real conversations.
There is something about this TCN agreement that is off.
From the headlines shaping the nation to the issues impacting communities across Jamaica and the diaspora.
No deporting around here.
This is PDTV News with Andre Stevens, live from Kingston, Jamaica.
Public officials should know.
Holding the powerful to account.
What do you think about the 10,000? That is the most despicable, they say, coming to Jamaica.
Bringing you exclusive interviews, breaking developments, and the context behind the day's biggest events.
It not help where 3 schools locked down and them don't help.
In the constituency?
Yes, sir.
Anything you do, you don't do it already. Step aside. So you call for resignation? Yes.
The conversations that matter. The people at the center of the story. Serious journalism delivered with warmth, honesty, and just a little fun.
I'm not sorry, listen to PDTV show.
Oh yeah!
So many things I did not know.
Oh yeah!
Tune in for this show. No, me not sorry.
Oh yeah!
No, me not sorry.
Because the news should inform, challenge, and connect us all. The conversations that matter, the people at the center of the story. PDTV News starts now.
We're meant to size a song, you know. You know the one there. He roll it away. He roll the sea away. He roll it away. He roll it. Come on now, hey. He roll it away. He roll the sea away. He roll it away. When Jesus. Whatever you face this week, forward still. Whatever mountains come in your way, forward still. Yeah. Whatever, even if you buck your toe, forward still. Disappointment come, forward still. Woo. And if another pastor fall, forward still. After the pastor we are follow. We obey with pastor, but we are follow Jesus. Forward still. Young people, walk holy. Walk holy. Make the right decisions. Walk right. Walk holy. Ramandosia. Rakandarabasiandarabosha. Walk holy. Forward still. It's Jehovah's will. Though the billows dash and sway with a concrete strength, we will push. Let the church be the church, and he will roll. Yes, he will roll. No matter what you face, he will roll. Even if you fall, get up and he will. Oh yes, and he will roll the sea away. Hallelujah.
For I want to go to heaven when I die. We go here when Jordan rolls. Get something and wave it. 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 Grab a rock 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 and wave it. Come now, wave your hand. Wave your hand. Wave your hand if you love the Lord. Wave your hand. Wave your, yes, wave your hand if you love the Lord. And me say roll, Jordan roll, roll. Praise him like you just don't care. Just praise the God, because you know what he has done for you. Just give him praise. Rock and praise him. Dance and praise him. Wave your hand and praise him. For I want to go to heaven when I die. We go here when Jordan. My God, David was one of the greatest musicians. And I hear this musician playing. Give God glory, musician. Tell them, play a little David. Play a little David. Play me David. Play a little David. Yes, play me David. Play a little David. Yes, play me David. Play a little David. Me say roll, Jordan. Me say roll, Jordan, roll. My God, Church of God this evening. God is good. Yes, God is good. God, for I want to go to heaven when I die. We go here when Jordan. Come now, me have to do that when you roll. Me want hear when you roll. Me have to do that when you roll. Me want hear when you roll. Me have to do that when you roll. Me want hear when you roll. Me have to do that when you roll. Me want hear when you roll. Me a go walk right in there. Me a go walk right in there. Me a go walk right in A river Jordan, a roll high. A river Jordan. I feel like praise him. I feel it when you roll. Me want hear when you roll. Me I feel it when you roll. Me want hear when you roll. Me I feel it when you roll. Me want hear when you roll. Me I feel it when you roll. Me want rock and praise him, boy. Me I feel it when you roll. Me want hear when you roll. Boy, river Jordan a roll. People make you roll, make you roll. Boy, a blessing make you roll. Yes, a blessing make you roll. Boy, are your blessing make you roll. Yes, are your blessing make you roll. For I want to go to heaven when I die. We go here when Jordan roll. My God, somebody praise him. Rock your body and praise him. And Jesus' body make you rock it. Rock and give him praise. Hey, my God. At the cross, where I first saw the light. And the burden of my heart roll away. I am working for a robe and a star on my crown. I am working. I only live my life to please the Lord. Yes, somebody praise him now. Walk out and praise him. Wave your hand and praise him. Wave your hand and praise him. Give him praise in the home. Give Jesus praise in the home. Somebody praise high. Somebody praise him. Come now. Yes, in the middle of the night. Oh yeah. When me back against the wall. Oh Jesus. And me don't have no friend at all. Jesus taught me how to pray. In the middle of the night. Yes, sir. In the middle of the night. Yes, when me back against the wall. Jesus. And me don't have no friend at all. Jesus taught me how to pray in the middle of the night. Oh, hey, 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 hey. Oh, our Father, what in heaven, hallowed be thy name. Thank you, Lord. Thy kingdom come, thy will be done in the middle of the night. Right again. Oh, our Father, what in heaven. Somebody worship him. Hallowed be thy name. Yeah. Thy kingdom come, thy will be done in the middle of the night.
Heat life, he life, he life.
Yes, comrades! Youth and youth! Undecided voters! PNP coming again! So tell your neighbor, tell your friend! Green man I ride with like mule, and I take the nation for fall! But we have a new name for him! What his name? Him name Eli! Bangarang! Oh, we tired of the labor pay! The drive across the bus and the country going down the drain! Yes, we tired of the labor pay! Poverty of us we shut and we going insane! Why? Eli! At the new name for the bus driver! Eli! That's how you hear on every corner! Eli! His name a ring throughout Jamaica! Eli! On a Monday, on a Tuesday, on a Wednesday, on a Thursday, on a Friday, on a Saturday, 2 times on a Sunday. Eli. Hear this. Eli tell we say him a go build up the country, put money in our pocket and end poverty. Promise the farmer them a go drive SUV. No him crash the bus, him a blame PNP, but Eli Eli is a rookie driver. Him cannot run Jamaica. If he go sit down back in the harbor, him too lion out of order. Eli, oh, we tired that the labor pay. The driver cross the bus and the country going down the drain. Yes, we tired that the labor pay. Poverty a bus we shut and we going insane. At the union for the bus driver. That's all you hear on every corner. In name a ring throughout Jamaica. Eli make big promise to teach a nurse and police. Promise to give them big salary increase. Promise jobs, more jobs and good economy. But no him crash the bus, him a blame PNP. But Eli is a rookie driver. Him cannot run Jamaica. If he go sit down back in the harbor, him too lion out of order. Wanna remember this? Eli from a party new on the scene. Swear say him done with the garrison and the green.
I'll never go back to that.
Him tell the country now him greener than green with no credibility. Eli at the union for the bus driver. That's how you hear on every corner. Him name a ring throughout Jamaica. Eli is a rookie driver. Him cannot run Jamaica. If he go sit down back in the harbor, him too lion out of order.
Alright. Partner draw. Andre. Set a rat trap. Set a rat trap with the 2 foot rat them. Set a rat trap. Set a rat trap. Set a rat trap with the 2 foot rat them. Set a rat trap. Set a rat trap. Set a rat trap in the parliament. Set a rat trap with the 2 foot rat them. Set a rat trap. Set a rat trap with the 2 foot. Set a rat trap in a FLA. Set a rat trap with the 2 foot rat them. Set a rat trap with the 2 foot rat them. Set a rat trap in the school. The one them where thief the pity them money. Set a rat trap. Set a rat trap. Set a rat trap. Set a rat trap in the judiciary. The one them where take money out of the table. Set a rat trap for the lawyer them. Set a rat trap. Take the people money and take them land title. And them not get no title. Hello? Set a rat trap. Partner draw. Andre. Hello? We set a rat trap in the church for the one them we are thief the offering. Set a rat trap, we must catch them. Set a rat trap in the tax office. Set a rat trap in the 2 foot rat them. Set a rat trap, set a rat trap. Andre! Oh my God, we are suffering in Jamaica with the corruption. Jesus Christ, you can't get them. Set a rat trap down on the wharf. Set a rat trap for the, what they call them? Set a rat trap down on the wharf, man. Yes? And set a rat trap in the airport. Hello?
It's 8 p.m. Big stories, big questions, real conversations.
There is something about this TCM agreement that is off.
From the headlines shaping the nation to the issues impacting communities across Jamaica and the diaspora.
No, the poor team out here.
This is PDTV News with Andre Stevens, live from Kingston, Jamaica.
Public officials should know.
Holding the powerful to account.
What do you think about the 10,000? That is the most despicable, they say, coming to Jamaica.
Bringing you exclusive interviews, breaking developments, and the context behind the day's biggest events.
Him not help we. 3 school lockdown and him don't help.
In the constituency?
Yes, sir.
Anything you do, you don't do it already. Step aside.
So you call for resignation?
Yes.
The conversations that matter. The people at the center of the story. Serious journalism delivered with warmth, honesty, and just a little fun.
I'm not sorry, listen to PDTV show.
Oh yeah!
So many things I did not know. Oh yeah! Tune in for this show. Long and not sorry.
Oh yeah!
Long and not sorry.
Because the news should inform, challenge, and connect us all. The conversations that matter, the people at the center of the story. PDTV News starts now.
Hey everyone, good evening to you. So it is Wednesday, the 8th of July. Can you believe that we're basically heading towards the weekend? We're nearly at the end of the week. And it feels good. I don't know about most of you guys, but it is feeling good. So welcome to PDTV News. I am Noel. You know, people normally say Noel. It is actually Noel. I've been getting a few messages from some of you guys when we're not here. People just reaching out to say, hey, we really, sort of like that story that you did. And people are asking for us to bring updates. So when we bring a lot of people on and they might have stories of wanting help or support, I realize that a lot of you guys get a little bit invested in those stories. So I want to update you guys on Paula. Do you remember Paula, the lady from Kingston who was just in agony? She had this condition which caused her severe pain every single minute and day of the week. Good news is that Paula, I've been working with her behind the scenes, because when you bring people on the platform and you interview them, right, that's never usually the end of it. You work with them behind the scenes and make sure you try and point them in the right direction for help. And I can tell you guys tonight, right, that Paula, we've managed to connect her with her MP. Her MP who happens to be a government minister. And the good news is that this minister seemed to be interested in helping Paula. So we're going to keep monitoring Paula's case and see where she gets to. And once there's something positive to come back and report, we're going to shout out that MP, get his picture on screen, and also shout out Paula as well. In terms of tonight, right, we've got a good show coming up for you tonight. We'll do a quick roll call and a quick check to see who's here with us tonight. But tonight we've got a big exclusive to share with you. And we're asking the question, has China gained more influence in Jamaica than what a lot of us may realize? One of America's leading experts on Beijing says that is exactly what is happening. And he's even made some pretty shocking claims in the interview, which is coming up shortly. He says that Chinese intelligence agents are currently on the ground in Jamaica and basically issued a stark warning about the government, saying that the government of Jamaica may potentially be compromised. You don't want to miss his warning coming up. And then we're also going to be talking to a campaigner who is currently putting a legal case together. He wants to take the Prime Minister, the Deputy Prime Minister, and the Commissioner of Police to court. He says that extrajudicial killings are becoming out of hand. They're getting out of hand, and he wants to take basically the leadership of the country to court. So we're going to hear from him in a few moments, as well as obviously getting your reaction as we go along with these stories. But let's just do a quick check. So we've got Van's watching from Canada. Tessa, good to see you. We've got who else have we got? We've got Yvonne. Yvonne, good to see you. Thank you for being here. Jean, thanks for coming on the train. Jocelyn, good to see you. Diane, Jesse, the humble lady, unstoppable, far 7732. That is a mighty name. Cheryl, thank you for coming on. So if you guys are here, we've got someone from Chicago. Leslie's in Chicago. Charles is in Florida. So there's a lot of Canadians and US folks here as well. So there's someone else from Texas. Jay, Mel's in Florida. Doreen's in Brooklyn, New York. Stand up. Brown's also in New York. We've got Maryland. So we've literally got a diverse group of people here with us tonight. And it's good to have you guys, right? We're going to be here. Like I said, it's going to be a bumpy ride. There's a lot that we've got to get through. So prepare to learn, because I've got my book and pen. I see I've got this with me tonight. And I've got like a hell of a lot of papers over here with me as well, because I'm on a journey and I want you guys to come along with us tonight. And you know, sometimes we'll get experts who might talk in their own expert ways, but they are so valuable in terms of giving us wisdom and giving us a sense of their analysis as to what's going wrong or what's going on in the country. So we've also got Judge Diane coming back as well. She's given her take on the crazy couple of days that has been happening in Jamaica. Integrity Commission, Dayton Campbell, Daryl Vaz, they had their case in court today as free speech under attack. I'm going to tell you what I think about that, because I think that case was important. It should be a wake-up call to many people who like to go on the internet and say things. So we'll get into that shortly, right? But first, I want you, I want to take you guys first and foremost to Haiti. And I want to talk about a little bit about what's happening in Haiti, because some new video has emerged showing 20 Haitian migrants, including children, crammed inside a 7-seater SUV. So let's visualize this. 7-seater, there we go. And I want you guys to count. So we've got 1, 2, 3. There are 20 people in this vehicle. We're going to count 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. We're not done yet. 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, and the 20th lady still in the boot, still in the boot of the car. If that isn't proof of how desperate the situation in Haiti is, I don't know what more to say tonight. I honestly don't know what more to say. You've got 20 people crammed like imagine a tin of corned beef or sardine. Imagine how unsettling it would have been for those guys crammed in that car. I mean, we all know, right? It's no secret that Haiti is in the midst of a humanitarian crisis. You know, there are gangs that control large parts of the country. The healthcare system has collapsed. People are fleeing their homes because of the violence. The situation there, to say the least, is dire. The country doesn't have proper leadership that is capable of bringing stability to the country, right? And that's the reason why we're seeing so many people fleeing in desperation, trying to get somewhere. And I genuinely feel right now, having spoken to a few Haitian contacts that I have, everywhere you look right now, it feels as though the Haitians are under attack. Everyone's pushing them away. Get out, go back home, go back home. That's basically what we're seeing. We saw in America recently, the president ended the temporary protection status, the TPS status for Haitians. So hundreds and thousands of Haitians as we speak are being rounded up, sent back to Haiti. Haiti doesn't even have a functioning airport. It's crazy, right? Then let us focus our attention, because these photos that you're looking at on screen, can we just go full frame on these photos? I want to specifically point out what is happening. You've got these photos right now happening. People being rounded up and put in cages. So this little truck that you're seeing that's cage-like with the cage on it, these are the kind of trucks they use to transport like livestock, cows, sheep, animals, right? And as of right now, you've got children, like these little children rounded up, being put in the back of these trucks in the Dominican Republic and sent back to Haiti. The Dominican government has made it clear that they don't want the Haitians in their country. They have launched an aggressive and a very hostile crackdown where you have soldiers who ride around on motorbikes. They go to communities where these migrants may congregate. They grab them and deport them. There was a video that went viral recently showing a woman being detained. She was crying frantically, saying, "I need to get my baby. I need to get my baby." They didn't allow her to get her baby, and they sent her back home, and she left her baby behind. And here's the thing, right? Because I'm not here to advocate for illegal immigration. I'm not about that. No, I like to believe in the rule of law, and we follow the due process, and people have every right, to be concerned about the borders in their country and to feel safe. They know who's in their country, who's living in the building that they're living in. But as of right now, every country is saying, hey, we can't do it. Someone else has to confront the bigger issue. But here's the bigger issue. You can't deport your way out of a humanitarian crisis. Until Haiti is secure, until its institutions are rebuilt, there are hospitals, there is things there that will give these children that you see crawling out the back of these cars and these adults, the hope that there is something to stick around in Haiti for. People are going to continue to flee. And that's not politics, that's just human nature. The real failure isn't just at the border, it's the decades of international promises, right? The regional meetings, the political deliberations that have failed to stabilize Haiti. And instead we have images like these, images that should send shockwaves despite how we feel, whether we like Haitians, whether we dislike Haitians. But let's just look at the faces of these little children locked in cages. It's 2026, and this is happening in plain sight. We have a government in Jamaica that is deporting these people in record numbers, carrying them back on helicopters, dropping them back off into the hellhole where they've escaped from. So tonight, I want to ask the simple question. Who is taking responsibility? Who has a real plan for the Haitians? Or are we simply going to be in the position where we're going to be watching desperate families risk everything? Can we just sit on the photo of I just want to really drill home what is happening of those children in the cage, those children locked behind this cage. Are we going to just keep watching and say that this is okay? These guys are running away only to then be turned back, detained, and sent back into the same crisis that they're trying to escape? Or are we simply going to keep just saying it's nothing to do with us? Because if the only strategy right now is deportation after deportation while Haiti continues to collapse, then don't act surprised when tomorrow brings another SUV. And then we're going to see maybe dead bodies in those SUVs. Another overloaded boat. Another heartbreaking video. And another generation of Haitians with nowhere to run. I'm genuinely asking the question tonight, right? And I'm going to put it out there to both the political parties in Jamaica. I wonder what the PMP would do about this crisis. We're seeing that the Wholeness government, their approach is that if they're coming into the country, we're sending them back. Who is genuinely going to have a conversation about some sort of asylum or putting a system in place to help these people who are so desperate? The situation, yes, has been happening for centuries. But it's deteriorating to the point where people are dying. People are dying in Haiti. The situation there is unforgivable. Jennifer says in the chat, Noel, I think you have to live around them, be around them long enough to understand why no one wants them. You see, I had a conversation today with someone from the Dominican Republic, and he says, and I'll repeat the words, and I'll just say as it is. He says that they are violent, they are dirty, they work voodoo, they come in and they want to take over your country. The Dominican Republic government is doing the right thing and rounding them up and sending them out. We don't want them in the country. That's the sort of sentiment. But when I look at those little kids in cages, I don't see a reason to wanting to need to live around those innocent children to judge them as to whether they deserve sanctuary or just a safe roof over their head. I'm sorry, but I'm not really in that territory of trying to demonize an entire group of people. Of course, you're going to have bad apples. They say that when the Jamaicans went to the United Kingdom, that they were all selling drugs, they were all yardies. And no, you had the Windrush generation who went over in the 60s and rebuilt Britain after the World War. They weren't yardies. They weren't selling drugs. They were working hard whilst being subjected to racism. So we've got to just be careful with the rhetoric and the things that we say. But I'm hoping by the end of the show, I've texted a few politicians, by the way, to ask what are we going to do about Haiti. Let's see if any of them respond. And if they do, I will share the message that I get in response with you guys tonight. I want to move on to another story that is happening close to home in Jamaica tonight, right? And I want you all now to watch how quickly this incident is about to unfold. Let's just show the video. So, car pulls up, woman walks over, completely unaware of what's about to happen. So she takes the money, she's about to fill their car with gas. Seconds later, you can see the men jump out. A struggle is about to begin. They're about to ask her for whatever amount of money she has. She resists, and then look what happens after this. She resists, and look, he uses the gun and he shoots her in her stomach. They get in their car and they drive off, leaving her on the ground. This happened at the Neri Road Total gas station in Kingston. So a woman shot in broad daylight whilst doing her job. And if anyone who's been with us over the last couple of weeks, you will know just how much we've been highlighting the issue of violence against women and girls. And we've got a government at the moment who's doing the victory lap, and rightly so. They're saying that they're solving more murders than ever before. The murder clearance, rate, rising to 111% so far this year. They're solving cold cases. But what about the strategy for protecting women and girls in Jamaica? This is broad daylight. These violent, I think the word that I'm not going to say tonight, these violent cowards get out of the car. They have no fear of witnesses, no fear of the CCTV camera that is in this gas station, no fear of the consequences. And this is what happens when they become so emboldened that pulling a trigger during a robbery becomes just another day's work. Nobody should have to wonder whether stopping to buy gas could end up with them fighting for their lives. I don't know the situation involving this woman right now. We do believe that she is fighting for her life in hospital, but I want you guys to all understand she is someone's daughter, right? Someone's sister. And I don't know if anyone in Jamaica can help me. So when you go to a gas station and these individuals who walk over to your car to fill your car with gas, do they carry large sums of money, or is it usually just a few $100 or few $1,000s that they will get from just filling gas, or do they have a significant amount of money with them? Because for these monsters, I think we can call them monsters, these violent cowards, to shoot this woman like that in broad daylight, it's just unbelievable. So someone is saying it depends. Sometimes they carry large sums of cash, but would you really do something like that? I watched that video about 6-7 times, and what I was reading was a bunch of cowards trying to assert dominance, trying to show this woman, how dare you stand up for yourself? I mean, it's a bit stupid what she did in resisting. She should have given them what they wanted, right? Because her life is more precious than however amount of cash she had and they wanted. But it shows you the attitude that men have towards women in Jamaica. We also had a case last Friday a 20-year-old girl shot dead by her 38-year-old boyfriend. He was charged yesterday with her murder. Initially, he told detectives that she was playing with his licensed firearm and the gun went off. The mother spoke to her today, and the family had to really fight to show the police that this wasn't an accident. It was an alleged murder. So he's now being charged with murder. But again, we're seeing this repetitive theme of the violence against women that is now, you know, I think it's fair to say an epidemic in Jamaica. Because every time we see these images and these, you know, tiny bit of videos on social media, whether it's CCTV or somebody captures it on their phone, it sends a message, not just to the victim, but to every woman, that nowhere feels completely safe. We are going to try and see if we can reach this woman's family members, or try and see if we can reach someone that will be able to let us know how she is doing. And we're going to keep following her story. I want to move on now just to another quick story. And I know a lot of people have been talking about this story. It's been making the rounds. It's the Dayton Campbell versus Daryl Vaz. You know, they were both in court yesterday. Today, Dr. Campbell, who, as you know, is the General Secretary for the People's National Party, I mean, he basically went to court today to settle two separate defamation lawsuits. One involves, like I said, the Energy Minister Daryl Vaz there, and the other involved two MPs, one a current MP, James Robertson, and a former MP, all of whom are members of the Jamaica Labour Party. Now, the settlement brings an end to the legal disputes that's been going on, and Dayton Campbell will have to issue, as part of the settlement, an apology in the newspapers in Jamaica tomorrow. Now, let's talk about what this case really means, because this isn't just about two politicians or multiple politicians settling lawsuits, because this isn't ultimately should be confined to these politicians. This is a wider implication, a wider conversation, right, about the line between free speech and defamation. And unfortunately, one of the first things I learned when I did my journalism studies is media law, things you can and can't say. In a democracy, people like what we do here, we must be free to question those in power. Journalists must have the ability to investigate, like what we're doing with our police brutality documentary, which is coming soon, by the way. Opposition MPs also must be able to scrutinize the government. But free speech is not a license, right? It's never a license to make false accusations that could damage someone's reputation or cause harm to them or their family. So here's the thing. If you accuse someone of a crime, or that they are involved in, criminality or misconduct, you should be able to back it up. Simple as that. That's the balance that we have to strike. And with the internet nowadays, people don't realize that sometimes you say things, it can come back. It can come back and hurt you in the long run. Look at the large number of people who've lost their jobs because of, speaking out on the internet or saying things. Here's the thing, right? I think that we all should continue asking difficult questions. We should all continue ensuring that public officials are held to account, but we've got to be responsible. So when we're going to say and accuse these individuals of things, we've got to be able to say, hey, there is an article or there is evidence which points to criminality involving this individual. This individual has a long history. They've become reformed or whatever. Because I think the most important thing is that we want to protect debate without allowing ourselves to lose the argument when we're not presenting facts. And then people will have an ammunition to come after you and to silence you. I think Jamaica, like most democracies, have the ability where you can scrutinize whether it's President Trump, whether it's Andrew Holness, whether it's Mark Golding, any political leader or the Prime Minister of the United Kingdom. We should be able to do that. but we have to look at the line. There has to be a line in between as well. So it was good to see Dayton Campbell outside the court, dealing with this matter like the professional that he is, standing alongside one of the men who sued him, one of the MPs, and saying, listen, we sat down and we came to this conclusion to say that I did something wrong. And, part of the way that I'm dealing with this is by apologizing. So shout out to everyone who is involved in this case, Dayton Campbell, for handling it with just professionalism and standing side by side with the very MPs he was criticizing and showing that these things are never too deep. So salute to Dayton Campbell, and hopefully everyone can move on with this. See, I'm not even going to look at the chat because I know people are going crazy in the chat. I know Daryl Baz is not a popular, is not a very popular or much loved national treasure in Jamaica. So I expect people will continue to have their opinions. All right, let's move on now. Because we are flying through tonight. So I feel like we've got through the three big stories of tonight, and it's time now to take a turn and to go to our legal eagle. Former Judge Diane is here with us. I believe. Diane, are you here? She's here to give us her take on the big legal cases making headlines in Jamaica.
Good evening. How are you?
Welcome. Wow. I feel like we had our little, sort of briefing, sort of what we're going to talk about tonight and what we're going to get your take on. And there was just so much to get through and we've got little time. So I'm going to get straight into it tonight, Diane, because I want to begin with a story that has captivated Jamaica for weeks now. Minister Audrey Marks, a woman who has been in the news, who has been releasing statements, who has been given interviews stating she was not involved in Jamaica's third country national agreement. However, no one's buying it, Diane. There's still a dark cloud hanging over her. What's your take on this scandal?
Well, it's hard to tell, okay? The problem is we don't know what this agreement consisted of, who suggested it, and why nobody else in the government is either challenging what she's saying or supporting what she's saying, right? It's my understanding that there is a third party, a third country national agreement between the United States and Jamaica is going to take a certain number of persons who are not Jamaican, who are being removed from the United States, but not going back to their own country, but coming to Jamaica, correct? And supposedly this is some agreement that she made with the United States, or the United States made with her, right? We don't really know. So I think there are questions about what exactly this agreement consists of. How did it come about? Did Audrey Marks suggest it, or did the United States present it to her? What did she come back and tell the government when this agreement or alleged agreement was made? And how's it going to work, right? I mean, aren't those all the questions that you have and the public probably has as well?
The really important point that you've made, and I think a lot of people have skipped over this, is the fact that the Prime Minister, the Deputy Prime Minister, the Foreign Minister, none of them have said, hey, Audrey, let's all do a big news conference together and put this issue to bed once and for all, and we can all answer the questions. It just seems to be individuals going out, this is what it means. And Audrey's like, well, I had nothing to do with that. The issue here is that her name is on diplomatic notes, right? And we know, for example, on court records, once you say something and your name appears on something, it means that you played a role in something. Is that a correct assessment?
Well, yes and no. I mean, she wasn't signing court documents. She, correct me if I'm wrong, she was the ambassador, correct?
Yeah, so I was referring to diplomatic notes. I was making a comparison to say, once you know, those sort of things are quite sacred. It's not like, for example, the public can go on Wikipedia and tweak something.
Correct. But the question I have that I don't think there's an answer to is, when you are the ambassador, you're not acting on your own. you're acting as a representative of your country. And certainly the prime minister or the people who run the country must have been having conversations with her, either directing her as to what position the government had, or she was coming back to the country saying, this is the conversation I had with the United States of America, acting as Jamaica's representative, right? So where is everybody to say either what she's saying is wrong or what she's saying is correct or something in between, right? Isn't the silence deafening here?
I think everyone's kind of getting fed up now, and it's just like, Audrey, put a sock in it. Just say no more. Put the spade down and stop digging, okay? And maybe just stop, because every time she says something, it's like, well, what about that? It just makes no sense. So another thing that's not making sense is 15 members of parliament, 15 MPs, 15 parliamentarians are currently under investigation by the Integrity Commission. You are a former prosecutor who worked in the area of the Integrity Commission commissioners in investigating corruption. I want to ask you specifically tonight, how significant is that number? So you've got 15 MPs.
Well, it's a lot. And the question becomes, what will ultimately happen? Again, you mentioned earlier in your segment that we have to be careful when we say things about public officials, that we make it very clear that we don't trade in falsehoods or mere rumor, right? They are under investigation. They may be cleared. There may be nothing to this. There may be a lot to this, right? I think what's very interesting is you've got a former retired justice running the Integrity Commission, and she's just been quoted as saying that she is starting to get a lot of pushback in the form of persons suing who either might be under investigation or might be fearful that they are going to be investigated. Am I correct about that?
So the Prime Minister, I understand, is one of those individuals, along with Andrew Wheatley, the cabinet minister. Mm-hmm. So I think what she's saying is that, hey, we have a job to do, but you can't keep launching lawsuits every time we, put our reports out, we raise questions. You can't then diminish our credibility by doing that. But you raise an important point. Does being under investigation automatically suggest wrongdoing, or is it simply part of the sort of commission's oversight to say, hey, you've not done enough to satisfy how you've made, $20 million compared to having $9 million, the year earlier?
Well, you have to be careful. I think you raise a very good point. Merely being under investigation doesn't necessarily mean you're a criminal or you've done anything wrong. It means that there's something that may seem suspicious. There's something that may seem untoward, and we're going to look into it. The persons on these 15 people could all end up being cleared. Some of them could be, some of them couldn't be. But I think what's really important is that the word integrity and the Integrity Commission, exist, right? And that the people charged with investigating officials do so fairly, without political motive, do so thoroughly. Those people who have committed some impropriety, be it financial, be it legal, those people should be called out and possibly prosecuted. And those people who haven't should be cleared so that they are free to be able to go on and continue to represent their constituents. I do think that retired Justice Beswick, she's right about one thing, that, you keep suing the commission and then the commission's got to fight those lawsuits. It takes time, it takes money, and it deflects from the important work that the commission has to do. I think the wiser course of business is to allow the commission to do its thing and conduct a full and fair investigation. I think The chair, she's a former prosecutor. She was on the bench for many years. She seems, at least from my vantage point, to be someone who is well suited for the position of leading this organization.
So, given the fact that she's had to come out to issue this statement, does that suggest that there is a coordinated attempt by individuals within, the political establishment in Jamaica to try and take down the Integrity Commission, to try and prevent them from doing their jobs?
Well, I think it certainly suggests that some handful of people, I don't know how many they are, unhappy perhaps with being investigated, are doing what they can to try and stop it. I think one of the things she says is, look, regardless of how many lawsuits you throw our way, we are going to continue to do what we are charged with doing, which is to independently investigate political figures without fear or favor. That takes a lot of courage. It takes a lot of strength. And I think she's very wise to address this. I think she's sending a signal, frankly, which is, you go ahead, you want to sue us. Yes, it's a pain. Yes, it diverts us from our mission, but we are not going to be diverted from our mission. And I think that's very important. She's sending a signal to the public to tell the public, we're going to continue to do our job, no matter who tries to interfere with it. And I think that's very important.
But ultimately, Diane, I feel like the other side of this is that it's costing the public. Every time, a politician launches a lawsuit, the commission has to fight back, and it's the public money that they have to use in order to try and challenge these lawsuits.
Well, remember, it's also the public money that has to investigate people who they suspect or may not be on the up and up, right? This is part of, what the government's business, right? Yes, you're right. It does cost money. It does cost time. But, I do think that ultimately, hopefully, justice will prevail.
All right, nicely done. So there you go. The judge's take. Diane's given her verdict. So I hope we can all appreciate that. So we covered the Integrity Commission today and Audrey Marks, and I feel like we're all still unsure as to where that story is going. But Diane will be back with us again next Wednesday with her take on the big political and legal matters unfolding in Jamaica. Thank you, Diane.
Thank you. Have a wonderful week.
And you. Thank you.
Good night.
Right. So could Jamaica's Prime Minister, the National Security Minister, and the Commissioner all end up in court? If one campaigner has his way, he says that is absolutely what is going to happen. I'm going to be talking to him in a few moments' time. And we've also got a big exclusive with one of the world's leading experts on China. And he's told us some extraordinary allegations that Chinese intelligence activity is taking place in Jamaica, and there is a possibility that Andrew Holness's government might just be compromised. Don't go anywhere.
Welcome to Goldilocks and Grow. We have a variety of skin and hair products that are 100% natural. Our products are developed by a certified cosmetologist located in Port Antonio. For skincare, we have body wash, body butter, body scrub, facial bars, and more. Our hair care products include powerful hair growth oils, shampoo, conditioners, hair moisturizers, and more. Visit our locations and feel free to follow us on Instagram at Goldilocks and Grow. Call us at 357-9996. Let us help you rejuvenate your natural beauty.
From nature to you, straight from the tree to everyday living. So why the hassle when it's already done for you? Stop searching. Looking for pure natural coconut oil you can trust? Aruka Distribution has the answer. Only Coconuts brings you two premium options, virgin coconut oil and refined coconut oil. Our virgin coconut oil is cold pressed to preserve its natural fragrance and nutrients, perfect for skincare, hair care, oral health and low temperature cooking. For higher heat cooking, choose our refined coconut oil with a neutral scent, high smoke point and cholesterol-free goodness for everyday meals. 2 oils, 2 purposes, 1 pure standard. Available at supermarkets and pharmacies island-wide. Nature's gift for you. The difference is clear, only coconuts. Call or email us today. Turn your creativity into cash. Ready to elevate your career and become your own boss? Then join Creative Stems and Drapes for our intensive 6 to 8 week floral and event design decor training program. Whether you're a beginner starting from scratch or looking to upgrade your existing skills, we offer both beginner and advanced modules tailored just for you. Learn from a world-traveled Jamaican master instructor with over 30 years of global industry experience. You'll learn floral design, draping and elegant backdrops, lighting decor for premium events, modern balloon installations. Classes will be held in Kingston and spaces are strictly limited to ensure hands-on learning and personal attention. So don't wait. Invest in your future today. Register now or email us for more information.
Right. I was just taking a drink there because I've got to get myself ready for this next segment, right? Hope you guys are all well. It is Wednesday, the 8th of July. It's good to have you with us. It is 9 p.m. if you're in Jamaica, 10 p.m. if you're on the East Coast in the US, and I think it's around 3 a.m. in the UK. So if you're riding and rocking with us right now, we appreciate you being here. Right, we're going to move on now to some exclusive news that we want to share with you tonight, okay? And that is because a member of the People's Anti-Corruption Movement says he is preparing a private legal action against the Prime Minister, Andrew Holness, the Deputy Prime Minister, Horace Chang, who also happens to be the Minister for National Security, and Police Commissioner Kevin Blake. Now, Lloyd de Aguilar says an affidavit is currently being drafted alleging that the three officials bear responsibility for what he describes as a high number of extrajudicial killings in Jamaica. I'm pleased to say Lloyd joins us now to explain the basis of his legal action and the evidence that he has to support this unprecedented move. Lloyd, thank you for taking the time, sir. Welcome.
Thanks for having me on. Thanks very much, Noel.
Lloyd, I'm going to get straight into it because I feel like a lot of people watching tonight want to know on what legal basis are you making these allegations? What exactly are you alleging against these three men?
Well, let me talk about the legal basis first of all, right? That according to common law, if the state doesn't do what it's supposed to do, you, the citizen, have a right to take the matter to the court. And just to go back very briefly in history, in 1865, the British government under Governor Eyre killed hundreds of people in Morant Bay in St. Thomas because they were protesting against their conditions. And they tried, a human rights group in England tried to take Governor Eyre to court using private prosecution. They were not successful, but it set a precedent in terms of where we stand today, that this matter of police extrajudicial killings is a policy of state. It is a criminal policy of state, and it has been going on since Jamaica became independent. We must remember that when Alexander Bustamante became the first prime minister, and there was an issue in Montego Bay involving Rastas, he told the police, bring them back dead or alive. And from there on, the police began to target Rastafarians, cut off their locks and lock them up, shoot them, kill them, etc. And police extrajudicial killings since 1962 has been going on and on and on under different governments, under different police commissioners, and under different ministers of national security. Let me just say that a few years ago, the current prime minister, in a speech that he was given publicly, said, the truth is we have been fighting crime using extrajudicial killings for many years, and here we are still. So let us use the law. Well, guess what? He hasn't used the law to fight crime. police extrajudicial killings continue to be the method that is fighting crime. And let me just say one more thing where that is concerned. Last year, I think it is, they said that the killing rate, the murder rate went down. And the Prime Minister, the Minister of National Security, and several politicians, government politicians, are taking credit for the crime rate going down in terms of the police. The police are the ones who are responsible for reducing the murder rate. So the police killing rate has gone up. They didn't say that it was because of increased employment or better living conditions or whatever. They say it's the police. And the only thing that the police has been doing is killing more and more people. So it means that they are endorsing what the police are doing in terms of killing more people. Since the year started, they have killed at least 170 odd people have been killed by the police. Last year, 300 and odd people were killed by the police. And over a 10-year period, there have been at least 1,400 people that have been killed by the police. So this is not anything more than a state policy. And let me say again, the Minister of National Security has told the police, don't wear body cameras. So in other words, when they go out on these operations, planned operations, they don't wear body cameras, right? Because if they were wearing body cameras, then they could say, well, this is what happened, and here's the proof that it was a shootout. But they don't wear body cameras, and the Minister of National Security and the police commissioner are saying don't wear body cameras, and the Prime Minister is silent. So, I mean, the case can be made before any court that this is a policy of state. There's no,
Lloyd, what I want to ask you though, Lloyd,
where that's concerned.
A really important question that I think a lot of people are asking tonight is, aside from the fact that these three men, Prime Minister Holness, Deputy Prime Minister Chang, who's obviously also National Security Minister, as well as the Commissioner of the Police, aside from them simply holding constitutional responsibility for the security forces, what specific evidence do you have linking them to unlawful conduct? I mean, they're not the ones, they would argue that are going out, carrying out these policing operations. So why, therefore, should they be taken to court?
Well, I mean, listen, these operations are planned operations. In other words, the senior commanders of the police sit down with these policemen, and they say, well, all right, we're going A, we're going B, we're going C, we're targeting this one, we're targeting that one. And when they go there, they claim that there was a shootout. They went into the house at 3 o'clock in the morning, where you would expect people to be sleeping, and yet they are claiming that they were shootouts. There was no body camera, and so on and so forth. Indicom is the investigator into police extrajudicial killings, and they have a big challenge also because there's no body camera. And when they take the matter to the Director of Public Prosecutions, the Director of Public Prosecution is compromised as well. And so therefore,
have you suggested, Lloyd, do you intend to submit your evidence to the Director of Public Prosecutions? How do you intend to go about getting them in court?
We don't intend to get the Director of Public Prosecutions to submit our application. We submit it directly to the court, right? We may not succeed, but that's what we're going to do. And if we don't succeed, it further confirms that it is a state policy. And it's a state policy not only at the political level and at the police, but at the legal level as well. Either the courts or the DPP don't want you to challenge the police where extrajudicial killings are concerned. But we are going to take the matter to the courts, And then now we will decide where we go from there based upon their reaction. Listen, there are many countries, especially in Africa, where police extrajudicial killings is also a big problem. And guess what? Hundreds of people take to the streets to have protests against police extrajudicial killings. And we need that here in Jamaica. We need that because when they go into communities and they kill people, there are protests. Communities go out on the street and they protest against the killing. But what we need is a national protest, right? And this is our way of saying that, legally, we can't challenge the system legally, so we have to challenge it politically. And if we're going to challenge it politically, it means that thousands of us are going to have to go out on the streets and demand that the Minister of National Security resign. We have to demand that the police commissioner resign, and we have to talk about the legality of the Prime Minister presiding over a criminal state policy, which he has admitted exists, and he has said it. So we have a strong political and legal case in this matter.
Let me ask you then, Lloyd. So let's speak hypothetically now. If the court agrees to hear your case, what remedies are you seeking? Do you want to see these men put behind bars and locked away, or do you want them to step down and resign from their roles?
Well, the point is that we would make the point that it is a criminal state policy, and the Prime Minister, the Minister of National Security, and the Police Commissioner must be held accountable. No, I can't tell you what the court is going to do in terms of punishment.
What does accountability look like for you, though? What do you want? Do you want them to go to jail?
Accountability would be the court admitting that they are responsible for this criminal state policy. They have the power to put an end to it, but they are telling the police, shoot to kill, don't call no ambulance, etc., etc. And so therefore they have to be held accountable. And so we are going to do that. But like I said before, there's also the political side of the matter, where the people have to begin to stand up for their rights. I was listening a while ago to your discussion about corruption, and corruption is also a state policy as well. And we are calling for a commission of inquiry into state corruption, right? That also because in the Integrity Commission does its job, but there are so many loopholes in the legal system that if you charge a politician for corruption, he knows how to exploit it, and it could take 10 years before the matter is resolved, right? And we have one minister now called Royal Reid, who was the Minister of Education, and he has been on trial for 7 years going on, and nothing seemed like it's ever going to happen. So we have to take a stand. We have to decide that we're done with police killing, we're done with corruption, and we the people have to take a stand. If we're going to try it legally, and if it don't work legally, we're going to have to try it politically. We're going to have to go there on the streets and begin. And let me just say that there was recently a big protest in Crossroads by a group, and that it was inspiring to a lot of people. And I am going to, my group, the People's Anti-Corruption Movement, is going to try and develop a relationship with that group that had that protest. And we're going to do what we have to do. We also will be having a public meeting very soon where we're going to discuss corruption. We are going to discuss police brutality, and we are also going to discuss another issue which has arisen, which is that Jamaica is now in league with the United States, that is sending people, is deporting people to come here. Whether they're criminals or they're not criminals is beside the point. The point is that the United States has all the power to take care of these people and to legally address the issues. They don't have to send them to Jamaica. Why are they sending to Jamaica and Trinidad and other countries? The United States has the power, the money, and the legal to do whatever is necessary. Jamaica is compromised where that is concerned. And let me just say one more thing about that. The Jamaican, when Jamaica has sent soldiers to Haiti to fight in that civil war going on over there, and that sending of Jamaican the soldiers is unconstitutional. But guess what? Jamaicans over there participating in that civil war, and when the Haitians run away from the civil war because they don't want to be killed, and they take a boat and come to Jamaica, rather than their human rights and according to what international law says must be done, it's not respected. And guess what? They deport them back to Haiti, right? They deport them back to Haiti. They're illegally in Haiti fighting the people, and but yet still they're going to have a deal with the United States to take these people that the United States is using ICE and these organizations to just round up hundreds and thousands of people and just support them because of their skin color or where they originated from, etc. This is an example of the broader picture of corruption and compromise in this government, and we have to stand up to it.
So here's the thing, Lloyd. Let me circle back to your lawsuit, because I know as an anti-corruption campaigner, there is so much happening, but your lawsuit has got the attention of a lot of our audience tonight. Karen Swaby is cheering you on. She's clapping about the prospect of your affidavit, but she's asking you to hurry up. What's your timeline that you're working towards?
Well, I have to confess one thing, is that we are a small organization, and sometimes, you know, to do something like this, you have to raise a little funds, right? And that's a big challenge. So I come on your program, and people recognize and support what I'm saying, then please give them my number, etc. Let them communicate with us, and we can work together to build a movement. Because I'm telling you this very personally, it's so difficult to get lawyers here in Jamaica to help us file this affidavit, because the legal system is also compromised. Are
they afraid?
Yeah, a good question. I don't know if afraid is it, but they are compromised. We have drafted.
Hold up, Lloyd, 1 second, because you're saying a lot, and I think we want to take it all in. So you're saying that the people who work in the legal field are compromised to the point where you are struggling to file these things. So does that mean that they don't believe in what you're doing, or that they are corrupt? Is that what you're alleging?
Well, listen, they go to court, and they're going to challenge the Prime Minister. They're going to challenge the police commissioner and the Minister of National Security. It's a big challenge for them to take on that as well, okay? So all I'll say to you is that Jamaica is a compromised, corrupt country from top to bottom. And you'll find a few people that are willing to stand up and say, listen, I don't care what the circumstances or what the consequences are. I'm going to stand up for the people and stand up for justice. So therefore, I'm not saying that there isn't a lawyer out there that we might be able to get, but we might have to pay him worth of money in order to get him to take the matter to court. Or, you know, somebody like me, you know, who is not a lawyer, but private prosecution does give you, a citizen, the right to go before the court. And I'll also say one thing: the Director of Public Prosecutions has the power to prevent you from going forward with it as well. Because I just mentioned quickly that when they had the Tivoli Gardens massacre in 2010, our position was that this commission of inquiry is going nowhere, because we need to hold these superior commanders accountable, and it went nowhere. And so as a result, I personally was one of those people who they threw out of the Commission of Inquiry, etc., etc.
Oh, you were on that inquiry, Lloyd?
Yes, I was representing the people in Tivoli Gardens, and they didn't want me there because of the question that I was going to be asking the Prime Minister, the head of the army, the head of the police, and so on and so forth. And they threw me out, right? But the point I'm making is that having thrown me out, I said publicly that we need to have private prosecution, and the director of public prosecution, then director of public prosecution, hinted very broadly that she would not allow it to happen. So I'm just making the point that it is a big challenge, big challenge, but we are going to stand up for our rights. And I'll say one more thing. We have several national heroes in Jamaica, and my number one national hero is Sam Sharp. Sam Sharp was the one who led the slave rebellion in 1831. They were not successful, but they challenged the slavery system. And guess what? Sam Sharp himself was arrested, and they had him in lockup, and they were going to hang him. And they said to him, and somebody was interviewing him, and Sam Sharp said, well, guess what? I would rather be hanged than continue to live as a slave. And that is the way we have to look at what is going on. We don't want to be oppressed, exploited, money stolen from the people. $750 million US are forfeited by politicians and state officials every year. You know how much money, how that money could be used for education and for healthcare, etc. There's a big challenge where healthcare and education is concerned. Lack of money. And we don't have it because the money is going into the pockets of the politicians. So we, the people, have to stand up, regardless of what the consequences are. That them say, well, you're a troublemaker. I could show you several newspaper editorials which say Daguilar loves the limelight and all those kind of things that they say about me. But I don't care. I am standing up for the human rights of the people.
Lloyd, I feel like for a lot of people who are watching this tonight, they see you as a breath of fresh air and they can feel your passion and your enthusiasm. And I've got some bad news for you, Lloyd, because in a moment, we're going to hear from a China expert and analyst, who's going to make some very disturbing claims about the government being compromised and what's happening in Jamaica. It's very disturbing. I'm not sure if you want to stick around to hear it. But before I let you go, though, Lloyd, you've painted a very worrying picture of the direction of the country, how the country is being governed. What do you want to say to people who have listened to you tonight and have said, listen, I get your passion. I get how enthusiastic you are about justice. However, Jamaica is one of the most violent places in the world. The government has done impressive work in bringing down the murder rate. And people want to be safe. People, for example, want to be able to go about their day-to-day life and not worry about criminals or gangs targeting them. We saw, for example, today, the case involving the woman at the gas station who was robbed and shot in broad daylight. What do you say to those people who just say, listen, we're not wanting to go back to the old Jamaica. Jamaica has to be better for everyone and has to be safer, and they don't support what you're doing. What do you say to them?
No, well, listen, Jamaica, we have been having poverty in this country for a very long time, okay? So I don't deny that there are murderers and thieves and all of that kind of thing going on in Jamaica. But we have to deal with it from a social point of view, right? Not to go and kill people because you give the police the power to go and kill who you think is a criminal. It can't work like that. You have to improve the social conditions of the people. In other words, you're going to make sure that they have food to eat, that they have education, that they have health care, and so on. But guess what? There's a big gap between the rich and the poor in Jamaica. We have multi-millionaires that are making tons of millions of dollars every year. And you have a lot of people that are out there poor. We just had the Hurricane Melissa, and millions of dollars came into the government to people send money, countries send money to help rebuild Jamaica. And guess what? The money hasn't been spent, and there's no accountability as to whether the money was pocketed or why the money wasn't spent to rebuild. So those are the things that lay the foundation for people to be killing people and all that kind of stuff. It can be addressed, and that is why we have to address corruption. That is why we have to tell the people that police coming out and killing people is not the solution. The solution is to get rid of corruption so that we have $750 million more to take care of the needs of the people. That is what is going on. It's much more than $70 million. Transparency International ranks Jamaica as about the 44th most corrupt country in the world, right? And that makes it one of the highest corrupt countries in the world, right? So we have to point that out. We have to stand up, and we have to make the people know. Because listen, we just had an election last year, and 70% of the people did not vote, right? It means that there is a residue of opposition to the two political parties. And we as activists, human rights activists, political activists, have to recognize that there are a lot of positive things out there amongst the people. It's just that we have to make the personal sacrifice to go out there and stand up with the people and organize with the people and say, listen, you have the power to change what is going on in this country. You have the power. We don't have, the two political parties are corrupt. There's no difference between PNP and JLP. Both of them are corrupt, right? They cuss one another, but there's no substance. The Integrity Commission just said there are about 13 or 14 senators and MPs who have been investigated for illicit enrichment or not filing their statutory declarations, etc., etc. We don't know who they are. But guess what? When the time comes, it will be both sides. And both sides, some of them have been fired from the job or whatever, charged, both PNP and JLP politicians. The Prime Minister has been investigated for illicit enrichment. The leader of the opposition has also been questioned about his wealth, etc., etc. So therefore, people who are listening to your program tonight and appreciates what it is that I'm saying reach out to the People's Anti-Corruption Movement. If you want, I'll give you a number. You can reach right now and you contact me, and we will be more than happy for your support, because we need the support of people all over the world, Jamaicans in America, in England, wherever else, and Jamaicans here. And come, let's stand up against corruption. Let's stand up against police brutality and police extrajudicial killings.
Lloyd, I'm so grateful you found the time to come on and to talk to us about your affidavit. Please keep us posted. Let us know how that comes along. Once you file it, once it's in the court system, we can give people another update. But as you can see from the chat tonight, a lot of people seem to be cheering you on and saluting you, for what you're doing and trying to stand up for the people, especially in the face of the issue of police brutality. But Lloyd there from the People's Anti-Corruption Movement. Thank you for your time tonight, sir. Appreciate you.
Thank you very much, Noel. I really appreciate you having me on the program. Keep up the good work. And we need people like you to spread the word and to have intelligent discussions about what's going on.
All right. Thank you, Lloyd. Appreciate it. Thank you. All right. We're going to move on now to the big story that I think a lot of you guys are going to be interested in also hearing about tonight, right? And we're going to begin with a warning that is guaranteed to send, shockwaves across Jamaica and also beyond. One of the world's best known China analysts and author, is making some extraordinary claims about Beijing's growing influence in Jamaica. Now, in an exclusive interview, Gordon Chang says he believes that Chinese intelligence agents are actively operating. They are on the ground in Jamaica, and warns that the Holness government could potentially be compromised by China's expanding reach. Now, these are serious allegations with huge implications for Jamaica's national security and its relationship with one of its biggest economic partners. Gordon, just for background, is a conservative commentator. The president of the United States often, does social media posts about him. He's often, on the news networks in the US. But this is one of the first time I've heard Gordon, speak out about China's influence specifically in the Caribbean. And I began my conversation when I spoke to Gordon a little earlier, asking him for his thoughts on Jamaica's relationship with China. And he gave me a very blunt assessment, saying that Jamaica has made a major mistake by deepening its ties with China. This is part one of my interview with Gordon Chang.
I think that if you look at other countries have regretted this. And we have seen Chinese investment in these countries being unpopular, at least with people. Corrupted elites love it, but peoples in other countries have not. And Jamaica's got to, look at what's happened elsewhere. The problem for Jamaica is that in China, you're dealing with a country which still has this deeply ingrained racist attitudes. Deeply ingrained, which is reinforced to this day by what the Chinese regime is doing. And if you needed an example, certainly it looks at what it's doing with Tibetans and Uyghurs. And it holds people of darker skin tones in even lower regard than it does for the Tibetans and Uyghurs.
Given the statement we've seen released from the Chinese embassy in Jamaica, reaffirming its position, saying that it has a right to protect its interest in the country. And, Marco Rubio, visiting the island last year and making it clear that China's behavior is very predatory. Carrie Lake has also echoed her concerns about their influence in the country. Could we be on the brink of some sort of, China versus the US war in Jamaica? Could this really escalate, do you think?
China and the US could go to war. If we do go to war, no part of the world is going to be spared. And that includes, as I've been talking about, that includes American soil. We're going to be fighting China's agents of networks of agents, operatives, and soldiers on American soil. So if we're fighting on our soil, I'm sure there's going to be a struggle in Jamaica and elsewhere.
Just to give our audience some insight, Gordon, do you believe, from what you know of how, the Chinese operate, that there may potentially be agents on the ground in Jamaica who are actively working to try and, compromise the system or to get what they want?
Yes, because we've seen it elsewhere, and there are evidence of it in Jamaica as well. The United States, I'm sure, has CIA operatives in Jamaica, because Jamaica is important. And the Chinese are going to be there with their Ministry of State Security agents as well. It is going to be, wherever there are people, you're going to find the Chinese security services. And you very well might find the American ones as well.
Do you think their national security is currently at risk?
We have seen China use Huawei networks to exfiltrate information. So, for instance, China built the headquarters of the African Union, and they used Huawei equipment there. And every night they were downloading surreptitiously all the data they could from the AU. So we've seen what they've been doing elsewhere.
Does that mean that there is a possibility that governments that have these long partnerships with China, that are working hand in hand with China, they appear to have good relations on the outside, Could they potentially be compromised?
China's method of operation is to go in and corrupt elites, which means it's to corrupt countries. So yes, they've been doing that all throughout the Western Hemisphere. And by the way, in the United States itself. So, you're not the only ones who have suffered through this. But the point is that the United States has allowed, for instance, Chinese corruption in our country. And so therefore, we have not paid sufficient attention to China corrupting governments in the region.
What does that mean for the Jamaican people?
It means a couple things. One of them is that, of course, Jamaica is going to get Chinese money, and development otherwise, in most cases, can be good. But we have seen China's behavior in other places being extremely predatory. And probably the number one example is Sri Lanka, where China lent a lot of money. There's been very little in the way of, on the part of the Sri Lankan government. So they built these projects, which they call white elephants. China's tried to come in, collect on its loans, has been able to take over projects, especially the Hambantota port. And this has not been a good relationship because it has destabilized governance in Sri Lanka. We have seen this in other places as well, not just in places far away. So yes, this is ultimately not that good for the Jamaican people, at least in the long term.
Wow. Gordon Chang there, author and China expert, with his analysis of Beijing's influence in Jamaica. I feel like I may just need to do a quick recap before we play part 2 of what Gordon said there in his interview, right? He says that the government is making a big mistake by doing business with China. He made reference to Sri Lanka. I'm going to talk about Sri Lanka after part 2 because Sri Lanka is a good example to look at, especially when you go into close partnerships with China and allow China to essentially rebuild your country, build ports, and whether it's highways or roads, it always comes with a cost. So we're going to talk about Sri Lanka shortly. He also says that the PM is dealing with a country that still has deeply ingrained racist attitudes. I wasn't aware of the fact that there is, sort of profound racism in China where, darker skinned people, for example, are frowned upon. I think we've all seen the videos, right? When you see a black person often in China and there is this kind of fascination as though they were, some sort of alien stepping off a spaceship. And shockingly, he claims he's aware there are Chinese agents actively operating in Jamaica. And in response to that, the CIA are also on the ground in Jamaica to try and counter exactly what China is trying to do in Jamaica. And you heard me ask him the question, is the government compromised? He said yes. He said that is the whole point of China. That is what they do. Their method of operation is to corrupt countries and destabilize governments. And he believes that is what is happening in real time right now. The whole point of talking to Gordon isn't to be an alarmist, isn't to kind of, make anyone worried. It is to simply give you all an understanding, an insight, a perspective as to what might be happening behind the scenes. We know that President Trump and the president of China they're both competing for world dominance, for power. And you heard Gordon Chang there making reference to what China did with the African Union. They built the African Union headquarters. And by doing so, they used Huawei Wi-Fi networks to gather information on individuals who were ranked, who were involved with the African Union. Gordon, when we say compromise and we use the word compromise, right, we've got to look deep and think about what if there is anything. And we're just thinking out loud here. is the Prime Minister, potentially compromised? Are there members in the government who are maybe compromised? Why specifically is Jamaica so important to Beijing, to the point where we had just days ago the Chinese embassy issuing a statement defending its 50-odd-year relationship with Jamaica, saying, and I use the word specific here, let me find the word. They said, we will protect our interest in China, protect our assets and our interests in Jamaica, rather. We will protect our assets in Jamaica. Why Jamaica? Part 2 of my interview with Gordon is coming up, and he explains exactly why Jamaica has been chosen as one of China's golden places in the Caribbean. I feel like I need to lay down. Don't go anywhere. We're going to be back with part 2 in a second.
Need fast, reliable shipping to Jamaica? Allstate Caribbean Express Shipping offers convenient pickup and fast shipping of barrels, boxes, crates and containers. We're family-owned, licensed, and the only company in New Jersey getting goods to Kingston in 7 days and to Montego Bay in 10 days. We provide professional packing and crating, free off-site estimates, consolidation to save you money, and all-risk marine insurance for peace of mind. To schedule your free estimate, call 862-257-9008 or 862-257-9005. Allstate Caribbean Express Shipping Packet, ship it, deliver it with care. Looking for the perfect Airbnb in Jamaica? Heart's Desire Rentals has the ideal stay for every traveller. Choose from our stylish 1-bedroom, 2-bedroom and 3-bedroom accommodations in Kingston and St. Anne, designed for comfort, convenience and relaxation. Enjoy modern amenities, 24-hour security, gated parking and easy access to shopping, dining and entertainment. Or unwind at Heart's Desire Marina Villas in Draxhall Estate, St. Anne, featuring a private beach, swimming pool, gym, tennis courts and stunning coastal views. Whether you're traveling for business, a romantic getaway, or a family vacation, your perfect Jamaican getaway is just a click or call away. Explore all our properties online. Heart's Desire Rentals, where luxury meets comfort and every stay feels like home. We look forward to hearing from you, so book your stay today.
I know a place.
Elegance, the Jamaica Pegasus Ballroom Experience, Sunday, July 19, 2026. Featuring Crazy Chris, Master Rod, Welton Irie, DJ VJ Snow. Every song is a video. Classic souls of the 70s, 80s, and 90s. A momentous occasion where fashion meets style. The best dressed couple and the best dressed dancer will receive 1,000 US respectively. Isn't that nice? Hors d'oeuvres and wine will be served. Admission 10,000. VIP experience 15,000. The experience begins at 5 p.m. to 11 p.m. Part proceeds to the JCF Convalescence Home in St. Elizabeth. This one is gonna be different. I'll definitely be there.
Welcome back. Tonight we are running an exclusive interview that has a lot of you guys talking so far. One of the world's best known China experts and author has made some extraordinary claims about Beijing's influence in Jamaica. Now, in this exclusive interview with PDTV, Gordon Chang says he believes Chinese intelligence agents are actively operating in Jamaica. If you missed it, here's just a recap.
Yes, because we've seen it elsewhere, and there are evidence of it in Jamaica as well. You know, the United States, I'm sure, has CIA operatives in Jamaica because Jamaica is important. And the Chinese are going to be there with their Ministry of State Security agents as well. It is going to be, you know, wherever there are people, you're going to find the Chinese security services. And you very well might find the American ones as well.
He also warns that Andrew Holness's administration could potentially be compromised by China's expanding influence. So Gordon Chang says China's ultimate objective when they go into countries is to destabilize and to corrupt individuals. For those of you in the US, you will have seen multiple news headlines of agents being sniffed out by the Trump administration. Gordon Chang also, told me earlier that the reason why this is happening in Jamaica is because the US successive administrations in the US have neglected the Caribbean and have focused, like President Trump has been focusing his attention in the Middle East. So therefore, China saw a vacuum, and China has taken up Jamaica and has made Jamaica one of its, priorities. But the big question is, why Jamaica? And is it too late for anything to be done about this? Here's part 2 of my conversation with Gordon Chang.
I think that if you look at other countries,
a place like Jamaica, why is that country so important to Beijing?
China has enormously ambitious goals. So, for instance, Xi Jinping has been pushing this notion that China is the world's only sovereign state. And that means the United States is, at best, a colony. What he's trying to do is to exert influence in the Western Hemisphere. And so Jamaica is an incredibly important part of this and has been one of the places where China's put enormous resources. So yes, certainly it's an issue of development, but also in terms of relations. You got to remember that the Communist Party has this Han nationalist policy, which is deeply racist. It puts the Han, in other words, majority of Chinese, at the top of the world, and it puts people at lower levels, especially according to their skin tone. So no, China doesn't really want mutual cooperation and long-term partnership, but it certainly does want development.
Is it too late to try and limit China's influence?
Nothing is ever too late. As we see in Panama, the United States is reversing Chinese influence over that country, but it takes a lot of effort. And we wouldn't have had to do this if the United States paid attention to Panama in the first place. We've sort of lost interest after we handed over the canal. So it's not too late, but it means that the contest for influence is going to be at a much more difficult phase for us than it otherwise would have been if we had concentrated on the Western Hemisphere in the first place. We Americans spend a lot of attention to the Middle East. We pay a lot of attention to Asia. We have tended to ignore the Western Hemisphere. That's changing in the second Trump administration with his national security strategy, which was released last December, where he put the Western Hemisphere at the top. And that's a necessary corrective because we have not been devoting the resources of all sorts, diplomatic, economic, military, towards the region that we should have.
We've seen so far in Jamaica, for example, China investing heavily in ports, highways, and major infrastructure projects in the country. Why are ports so strategically important to China?
Xi Jinping has developed an economy where consumption is a very small portion or a contributor to gross domestic product. Mostly it's manufacturing. It's an extremely unbalanced economy. Now, when you run an unbalanced economy that depends on trade, it's helpful to have control of ports around the world. But also there's a strategic military element to this because China has used its Belt and Road ports. Belt and Road is an initiative on the part of Xi Jinping, started in 2013, to basically build infrastructure between China and Europe. And now that's been expanded to places such as the Western Hemisphere. So China has used ports that it has built in this Belt and Road Initiative for military purposes. Going back to Hambantota and Colombo in Sri Lanka, you see Chinese military vessels pay port calls. And that's something that the United States does not want to see in this region.
So is it legitimate then, Gordon, for the likes of Carrie Lake and the Trump administration to be sounding the alarm to say, hey, we need to limit China's influence in the Caribbean, in places like Jamaica? Or is this a case where you've got two powerful countries trying to compete with each other?
It's both. Ultimately, what Jamaica believes to be in its best interest is not going to be determined by China. It's not going to be determined by the United States. It's going to be determined by Jamaica. But we have seen, as I mentioned, the pattern of essentially predatory and sometimes criminal conduct on the part of the Chinese. And we know about their Han nationalism. So this is an ugly story. And eventually, I think it's up to Kerry Lake to be able to make the case for the United States. But as I said, it's not up to us to make the final decisions for people in any other country.
If you were advising the Jamaican government, the Prime Minister in particular right now, what would be the top 3 recommendations for managing the country's relationship with China and where we are currently? What would you tell them?
I think the most important thing is to make sure that when decisions are made, they are made by people who have not been compromised by foreign powers. We have seen what the Chinese have done in other places. So it's important to root out foreign influence in that way. Foreigners will always come in and try to influence the political system. That's just a fact of life. We do it elsewhere. Other countries do it to us. But you got to make sure that the attempts to influence the political establishment are ones that are considered to be within the bounds of competition, which in other words means no bribery, no blackmail, no intimidation, those types of things. And I think that really is the most important. Second thing would be to look at what China's done elsewhere around the world. That is because we see the Chinese playbook not only in Asia, but we see it throughout the Western Hemisphere. We see it in the United States, as I just mentioned. So that would be something that would be important. And to remember that you guys determine your own fate. And so this is it's your country.
So Gordon Chang there giving us his assessment of China's growing influence in Jamaica. So just to recap, he made it clear that he believes that Jamaica has been compromised. Beijing is operating on the ground in Jamaica, hence why we saw Kerry Lake, the Donald Trump nominee to become U.S. ambassador to Jamaica, say to senators in Congress recently that one of her main priority was to try and limit China's influence and dominance in the Caribbean. Now, when you put the pieces all together, you will see why she said that, right? And then we saw just days ago, like I mentioned, the Chinese embassy in Kingston putting out a statement defending its record in Jamaica. And ultimately, since then, the US announcing that they're doing a security sweep of Jamaica's ports. Gordon mentioned in his interview a moment ago there, didn't he? When I asked him why Jamaica, he mentioned that Jamaica's port is essential, is crucial for Beijing. And if we lay a few more things on the table tonight before we go, I know it's late and I know there's a lot to take in. We're going to have part 3 to this tomorrow when Andre is back. But what I want to say tonight is I want to go to Sri Lanka. Look at what happened in Sri Lanka. Gordon kept mentioning Sri Lanka in that interview. Let's just show the photo of Sri Lanka. That's the port in Sri Lanka that Gordon kept mentioning, right? China poured billions of dollars into loans and major infrastructure projects in Sri Lanka. Supporters called it development. Critics warned it was creating dangerous levels of debt and dependence. And when Sri Lanka was plunged into economic crisis back in 2022, questions about those Chinese-funded projects became impossible to ignore. The Chinese government built this port. They then had their military equipment in these ports. And the loan that they were leasing, gave them 99 years of debt in the country. And Sri Lanka struggled to repay their debt. And many people cited Sri Lanka as an example of how strategic infrastructure can become a geopolitical asset. Although some people who, are experts when it comes to the economy say that Sri Lanka's crisis had multiple causes, including, COVID and domestic, decisions about the economy. However, I'm not saying that Jamaica is going to become like Sri Lanka. What I'm trying to say is that look at what's happened in Sri Lanka and look at Jamaica. Jamaica has welcomed the billions of dollars in Chinese investment. Chinese companies have built highways, hotels, ports, government buildings, and other major infrastructure. And those projects have created jobs and improved infrastructure. I think if I'm right in saying, let me just find my notes real quick. The Chinese embassy said recently that they have created more than 40,000 direct jobs as a result of the $2.1 billion that they've invested into Jamaica. So it's not all about lending and giving the government money. It's also about investing in the country, leaving a footprint, making a mark in the country. And it is also worth saying as well, right, that Jamaica has borrowed a significant sums of money from Chinese policy banks to finance infrastructure projects. So all I've been doing over the last couple of days, guys, is that we've been following the money. We've been following what's happening, where this is going. Gordon Chang has no political leaning to any of the parties in Jamaica, nor have I, right? I just decided to ask him a question, and I asked the question and it opened a can of worms. And tonight, I hope you guys, aren't alarmed, but will be more willing and able now to ask the questions, ask those difficult questions. When you see photos like this, for example, the Prime Minister going off on foreign trips to shake hands, and you see heads of state coming for, dinner, and they're having their bilaterals or trilateral meetings, ask those important questions. What is happening behind closed doors? What compromises are being made that will essentially and eventually in the long run impact the next generation, impact your children, your grandchildren? Because that's how policies work, right? We won't see them in the immediate moment. It's the long-term future that you tend to see these sort of things. It's also worth saying every country, including, and yes, we must say the UK, the US, and others, they all go to countries and pursue their own national interests. Whether sometimes it's destabilizing countries. We look at what the UK and the US did to Iraq and Afghanistan. They destabilized the Middle East, parts of the Middle East rather. And Haiti was a big part of our, conversation at the start of the show. We look at Haiti. Who's responsible for that colossal mess in Haiti? But the reason we've zoomed in on Jamaica and Beijing's influence in Jamaica is because this is happening in real time. And no one as of right now, is able to really, really comprehend what is happening, why it is happening. And I hope tonight gave you guys all an eye-opener in just understanding from an expert, right? An expert, someone who spent a lifetime. I believe Gordon, in fact, is an enemy, seen as an enemy by the Chinese government. He's a vocal critic of the Chinese government. And I think tomorrow we need to continue the conversation and ask the questions. If these so-called agents are operating in Jamaica, what is being done? Is the government aware of this? Can they do anything about it? And if these agents are on the ground, where are they? Are they posing as shopkeepers? Are they posing as university professors? Are they posing as taxi drivers? We don't know. But like I said, this was one expert's opinion giving his perspective on what is happening in Jamaica and why it is happening. I want to, before we go tonight, very quickly, if we can, we showed you the very disturbing footage. If we may just go back to our earlier story, showing the young girl who was simply doing her job in the gas station when this car pulled up. They attempted to rob her. She resisted and was then, distressingly, as you're about to see, the three men exited the vehicle and did what you probably wouldn't expect men in 2026 to do. They pulled out a gun. And as you can see at this moment, she was shot in her stomach. She collapses to the ground. Police have released images of the three suspects that they're hunting. And I want you guys to screenshot this. Can we just take the strap off screen, please? There we go. Screenshot this. And I want you guys to circulate this and find these thugs. These are the kind of thugs who deserve to be locked away, the keys thrown away. Please circulate this and try and get that young lady justice. She was simply doing her job in broad daylight. And I'm assuming whatever money they've taken, that they ran away with, was not worth shooting that woman. So if we can do the right thing today, let's screenshot this image and try and rat these cowards out and hand them over to the police so the police can do their rightful job in holding them to account. I think what we don't want is for these men to have any shootout with the police or whatever, and then they end up dead. That young girl deserves justice. So can we show the video one more time and then we'll show the image? So this lady is in, I believe she was stationed in a Total gas station. This was up in Kingston. I understand it was near to Denary Road in Kingston. You can see they pulled up with the intention of robbing her. They ask her for whatever cash she had. She resists. There is a confrontation, a back and forth. The guy in the black day pulls a gun, shoots her in her stomach. They get in the car like cowards they are, and they drive off. So let's show the images again. So these are the three men who have been hunted tonight. So let's do the right thing tonight. Let's do the right thing and rat these men out. They don't deserve to hurt anyone else. And the reality is that they will hurt more people. So there you go. The photos of those suspects who are wanted are on your screen. Right. Thank you all for being with us tonight. Andre is going to be back on Midday Connection. Thank you to Derville. Thank you for posting it. Thank you to everyone. Please post and circulate that. That lady was simply doing her job and she did not deserve that. So let's ensure that when police brutality happens and we call it out, we also call out criminals and thugs like that who go around terrorizing people. So Hunts Bay Police are leading the investigation. If you recognize any of them, pick up the phone and call Hunts Bay Police. Do not protect thugs like these. They will strike again. If they were able to do that in broad daylight, witnesses in the gas station, CCTV in the gas station, other people filling their cars with gas would have seen them, then that means they are on a rampage to cause havoc across Jamaica. And we must stand up to monsters like these. Let's stand up, and let's stand up for that young girl. I don't know her condition, for anyone asking. We don't know if she has made it, but we know she was rushed to hospital. So we'll hopefully have an update for you all tomorrow in our news roundup. Thank you to all of you for taking the time for being here with us tonight. Andre is going to have part 3 of our conversation, focusing on Beijing's influence in Jamaica when he comes back tomorrow for Midday Connection at 1. And then you've got the evening show from 8 p.m. Thank you guys all for being here. Thank you to Matthew. Good job today, man. We held it down real good. And thank you to everyone else for sticking with us on this Wednesday night. Hope you guys have a great rest of the evening, whatever you're doing. If you're heading to bed, sleep well, and we'll see you again real soon. Good night.
Kenya Wilson is said to have gone missing. Was trying to come to terms with the tragic death of 16-year-old Jamar Surgeon.
It's been 2 weeks since 13-year-old Jaden Smith from Wales District in Manchester went missing.
Leave her alone.
Yo, Fatson.
Yes, sir.
You know
man say when I like rapists already, you know.
You so born pedophile.
Hear that?
Flow the little pitney them. Baby sitting enough it touch. Talking straight, you know. Not pretending in it up. Me sit down and I pray. I see some little dirty cup one mix with clean plate. Tell them say no story me up. Mathematician baby. Listen on me sum it up. Catch a little man a rape. Holy man broke him up. Him rob granny purse. Holy man conk him up. Call me janitor. In the place I me do cleaning up.
Look what I want in another place, yeah. All I see is a molestic behavior. Your man murder and a rape a little daughter. All the woman them turn round and slaughter. Look what I want in another place, yeah. All I see is a molestic behavior. Your man murder and a rape a little daughter. All the woman them turn round and slaughter. Rapists and pedophiles be paralyzed.
No run with them.
Them want to mash up feel with paradise.
No make them do that.
Rapists are sin, yo, listen what me sing. We not deal with none of them of all the things. Look what I want in another place, yeah. Turn around and help for the future. Look what I want in another place, yeah. All I see is a molestic behavior. Your man murder and a rape a little daughter. All the woman them turn round and slaughter. Look what I want in another place, yeah. All I see is a molestic behavior. Your man murder and a rape a little daughter. All the woman them turn round and slaughter.
Paradise, yes, this a paradise. Cause it's sadness, I feel done, listen me speak. Like we bring back the days when you feel safe asleep.
Stop rape to be sons and daughters. We a bun slackness all over. It could have been a police and soldier. Pedophile them can't come round ya. Look what I want in another place, yeah. All I see is a molestic behavior. Your man murder and a rape a little daughter. All the woman them turn round and slaughter. Look what I want in another place, yeah. All I see is a molestic behavior. Your man murder and a rape a little daughter. All the woman them turn round and slaughter.
Listen to me I say. We can't continue sir. The youth them need to go in a safe space. Free from all pain and disgrace. Where's the I?
And we are speak to church and state. And we are people who lead the world in a faith.
This have to done now. Don't procrastinate.
Nurture and grow the youth them right. Or else I hell will not create.
True word.
Look what I want in another place, yeah. All I see is a molestic behavior. Your man murder and a rape a little daughter. All the woman them turn round and slaughter. Look what I want in another place, yeah. All I see is a molestic behavior. Your man murder and a rape a little daughter. All the woman them turn round and slaughter.
Camera on, just know.